Good evening, everyone. We'll call this public meeting under the Planning Act to order. Adoption of the agenda moved by Council Beauregard, seconded by Council Elliott. A public meeting agenda dated February 6, 2024 be confirmed as amended. Any questions to that? All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Disclosure of interest. If any councilor has a conflict of interest they wish to disclose, please raise your hands now. Seeing none. Statutory public meeting. We will proceed with item 4.1, public meeting report for zoning bylaw and official plan amendment at 174 Mitchell Street and a vacant lot at Mitchell and Nichols Street, file number D14-10-23 and D09-05-23, 2024-40. Have it moved by Council Hoyle, seconded by Council Begg. And I'll turn it over to Chris Room, the planner now. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I'm just going to give a second for the presentation. Thank you, Your Worship. So the purpose of this meeting, pursuant to Sections 22 and 34 of the Planning Act, is to consider an application submitted by Land Pro Planning Solutions on behalf of the owner, 2866403 Ontario, Inc., the lands known as part of lots 15 and 16 on Plan 849, municipally known as 174 Mitchell Street, and the lands known as Lot 26 on Plan 19 on the northeast corner of Nickel and Mitchell Street. The application is proposed to amend the official plan and zoning bylaw to permit the conversion of the existing building to a 12-unit apartment building. Notice of the public meeting was administered in accordance with Sections 22 and 34 of the Planning Act as amended and Ontario Regulations 543-06 and 545-06. The notice of public meeting was circulated to required agencies and property owners within 120 meters of the lands on or before January 16, 2024. Meeting details have been provided along with the council agenda on the city's website and other current applications. As of the date of this meeting, no written correspondence has been received from the public. Additionally, correspondence has been received from the city's drainage superintendent, Enbridge, and the region. The drainage superintendent and Enbridge have no objections. The region has indicated that they do not object to the application, but note that an archaeological assessment will need to be submitted with the site plan application as the parcel proposed for the parking is located within an area of archaeological potential. The full regional comments have been included in the addendum package, and additional comments are forthcoming and will be presented when the application returns to council. The procedure to be followed this evening will be to present Development and Legislative Services Department Planning Division Report 2024-40, followed by a presentation from Land Pro Planning Solutions, receive questions of clarification from council, open the meeting to the public for comments, and announce the requirements under the Planning Act for written notice of adoption and passage of the proposed official plan and zoning bylaw amendments. At this time, I would like to present the Planning Division Report 2024-40. The subject lands consist of two lots, being 174 Mitchell Street on the west side of Mitchell Street and a vacant parcel on the northeast corner of Mitchell Street and Mitchell Street. The uses surrounding the subject property consist of dwellings to the northeast, south, and the west. The City of Port Colborne official plan currently designates the property as medium-density urban neighborhood and mixed-use areas within the East Waterfront Secondary Plan. The mixed-use area is not proposed to be amended as providing off-street parking is permitted within this designation. Land uses in the East Waterfront Secondary Plan area include low and medium residential, mixed-use, industrial, and parks and open space. Seeing if anybody wants to work here. Oh, yeah, thanks. The official plan amendment proposes to redesignate the lands from medium-density residential to a medium-density residential special policy area to permit a maximum density of 192 units per hectare and to reflect an apartment building as a permitted use to allow the conversion of the existing building to a 12-unit apartment building. The subject parcel is currently zoned as third-density residential with a conversion holding provision. The applicant has requested the lifting of the holding provision to be a condition of the site plan control application, which staff have delegated authority. The R3 zone currently does not permit apartment uses. Let's get one more slide in there. Did the slide for me there, Diana? This doesn't want to work. Thanks. The zoning bylaw amendment proposes to change the zoning from R3-CH to a site-specific fourth-density residential zone at 174 Mitchell Street to accommodate the proposed apartment building, and from R4 to a special provision of the R4 zone at the corner of Mitchell and Nickel Street to accommodate the required parking. The following site-specific amendments to the R4 zone are proposed. For 174 Mitchell Street, a minimum lot frontage of 14.1 meters, a minimum lot area per unit of 52.2 square meters, minimum front yard setback of 0 meters, minimum interior side yard setback of 0 meters, a minimum landscape area of 0%, a minimum floor area per unit of 24 square meters, a maximum lot coverage of 43.5%, minimum driveway width of 3.6 meters, and a minimum landscape buffer of 0 meters. It is noted that these provisions are being requested to address existing deficiencies. For the vacant lot on the corner of Mitchell and Nickel, the minimum landscape buffer of 0 meters is being requested. At this time, I would like to pass the floor to the applicant who will provide a brief presentation.
Good evening, Deputy Mayor and Council. Thank you to Mr. Ring for the overview. I am Adam Moot. I'm a registered professional planner with Landfill Planning Solutions, the agent of the property for the applicant / owner of the property. He's actually joining us today. I don't know if it is Council's will to hear him now or after the presentation. Okay, I see that we're going to talk to Mr. Cowan after this. So if I could direct your attention to the presentation, we'll go through this. Mr. Room did a pretty quick overview, but there's not really much to it. It is a property redevelopment. So it is, what you see right now is just going to be redeveloped into something newer. Amendment is to increase the property density to 192 units per hectare to permit 12 units. That's not necessarily to say there's going to be 100 to fit this type of size on the lot. The zoning bylaw amendment is to rezone the property to fourth density residential. Currently, the third density residential does not permit apartment buildings, and therefore that's why we require the zoning bylaw amendment. The rezoning will also recognize the deficiencies of the property. There are a number of them, to be honest. However, they are historical in nature, so nothing is going to be deficient going forward as a result of what we're doing here, except for the room sizes on the lot. Mostly it's property lines and setbacks from that. Further to this, there will be a site plan application, so this is not the final application for the property. They'll have to fulfill some requirements with the city of Port Colborne. So as mentioned, this is a redevelopment of the site. Currently, the building used to house a bakery along with a residential component. The proposal is to put 12 units in there with a range of 24 to 64 square meters. That will facilitate a mix of bachelors, one-bedroom, and two-bedroom apartment buildings. Parking will be off-site. There will be 15 regular parking stalls, 1 accessible, and 7 bicycle racks in accordance with the zoning bylaw. Actually, I'll go back to this. The price points you see there as well are just to demonstrate the affordability of each unit. That's often a question we get, so we thought we'd throw that out there right off the hop. Mr. Room already explained where the properties are. So they are in the East Waterfront Secondary Plan, which is on Mitchell Street and the corner of Mitchell and Nickel. What you see here is the existing building. That's from a couple years ago. This is the picture that I took when I put the public hearing notice on it. So you'll see it's all boarded up right now, which obviously with the redevelopment, those will all come down and we will beautify that area. This is another conceptual overview of the properties. You see the building as it is and the vacant lot on the corner, which would be where the parking would go. And what you see here is the conceptual site plan. So again, the building's not changing. We will be demolishing a building at the back of the property, which is currently a garage, garbage area. That will facilitate 5 parking stalls on site, including the accessible and bicycle racks, and the remaining will be across the street. So this is the first floor layout. I don't know if folks can see it that well, but you'll see that there's a variety of options available on the first floor, along with the second floor. Again, varying units between bachelors, 1 bedroom, and 2 bedrooms. And at this time, I'm open up to any questions from council, but I think we could hear from Mr. Cowan right now, if that's the council's will. Okay, thank you. AJ, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Through you, Deputy Mayor, Mr. Cowan, he's the property owner. He's got a few remarks to say as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Deputy Mayor and Council. Thanks for your time. Just to give you a brief history on this building, talking with neighbors and other locals from this area, they remember this building as a vibrant bakery. It was called Tony Italian Bakery, and different names before that, until 2011. And they had residential units on the second floor. And I believe around 2011 is when the bakery shut down, and for most the years since then, it has been sitting completely vacant. Speaking with the previous owner, the city had ordered him to board up the windows and doors due to the multiple break-ins and safety issues that someone may get hurt while breaking in. It is a strong, solid building with its brick facade, and it matches the look of the neighboring properties. Neighbors have told me that the vacant building boarded up has been an eyesore, and I find it unfortunate that in an area where there is a shortage of housing, you have an existing, solid, aesthetically pleasing brick facade building that has been boarded up and has been of no use to anyone in the past recent years. In fact, it has been a liability due to the break-ins for the previous owner and also for the authorities. And I believe in a time where every level of government is asking how to create more housing in this province, this is an example that can also be very much part of the solution. An existing, solid, unused building in a residential neighborhood that simply needs some love on the inside to turn into more housing. The units will be safe, as they will be built to today's building code standard and clean, being brand new when done, and will be called home to many individuals years to come. I know the area very well. We have managed multiple buildings in these areas in the past, and relatively speaking to other areas in Port Colborne and Niagara, from my experience, this is a more affordable area with a very low vacancy rate and likely also due to low or almost no existing new rental stock being created. From my experience with other buildings, I have seen young individuals, young couples move out of their parents' basement into this area to have their first place they can call their own. Parents with young kids going through separations, and also seniors looking to downsize and seeking more affordable options, and many other. I'm very much excited about this project and strongly believe that with everyone's help, the community around the site, city staff, council, and my entire team can create a win-win and be part of the solution by revitalizing the site, bringing it to new life, and create a new, safe, clean, and affordable building. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Thanks, AJ. And for you, Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to answer any questions of the council.
Council, any questions? Council Bernard? Thank you, Acting Mayor. Welcome, Adam. Good to see you. You showed the housing mix of one-bedroom, two-bedroom, and bachelor. Could you be more specific of how many of each type of unit?
Yeah, I could actually put those slides back up if that's okay with you. And through you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, if it wasn't provided as part of our first submission, I could forward it on to Mr. Room to include in the final report.
I think it's in there.
Okay.
Yes, possible questions, but
Thank you. Okay, so thank you, Councilor Bruno. So right here we have the first floor layout, and I'm going to turn my head so you might lose me on the mic. But you'll see that this unit has one bedroom, one bedroom, one bedroom. This looks to be like a bachelor. Unit 3. Unit 2 has 2 bedrooms, it looks like. Unit 1 has 2 bedrooms, it looks like. And the remnants on second floor, Unit 9 and 11 look to be bachelors, along with 12 and 10. 8 and 7 look to be doubles. Are you still able to pop in if you have the actual numbers on how many bachelors, 1 bedrooms, and 2 bedrooms you have?
Yeah, quickly just doing the math, we have 3 2-bedrooms, we have 3 bachelors, and then we have 6 1-bedrooms.
Thanks, Andrew.
to the owner, I mean, I'm concerned about the bachelor units. I know it does make for an even more affordable unit. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about property management and ensuring the integrity of the neighborhood, the building, the tenants, and that. So, is the desire that the owners stick with the 3 singles? And there's no chance of a modification there.
AJ, do you understand the question?
The question
The 3 single, I believe, the gentleman is referring to the bachelors.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe the councilor's question opportunity to change it from a bachelor to a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom. Is that the question?
Yes.
Councilor? Okay. Yeah, so he's asking if there's any option to revert those bachelor units to 1-bedrooms or 2-bedroom options.
Yeah, we have tried to make some modification on the second floor, but I believe we also need 2 exits, and therefore it would be difficult to change the current layout to fit in more bedrooms. And just speaking from experience in terms of the clientele that we receive now, there is definitely we have seen a strong demand for individuals, older, elderly people that want downsize, and they're on their own, and these are the units that are in high demand.
That's fine, thank you very much. I'm not sure if there's a question. Is there an opportunity to ask Chris questions now too? Sure. Chris, I'm concerned that the uniqueness of the off-site parking, I just want to make sure of two things, that they're inextricably tied. In other words, that they could never be separated, so that you can fulfill the parking requirements and then potentially unfulfill them. So what assurances in terms of title and agreement that after the development's built, that they couldn't be unbound even to the point of the corner parking lot being, I don't know, up for a tax sale, something like that?
Through your worship to Councilor Bruno. A good question. We do have provisions for it in our zoning bylaw. It states loosely, just to paraphrase, that off-site parking can be located on a private parcel within 46 meters of subject lands. It's an odd number, but it's 46 meters. We can, I believe that the policy may speak to, they have to be in direct ownership. They both parties have to be owned by the same owner. And it is also something that we could find into the site plan agreement as well, to ensure that those parcels are maintained together.
There you go. Being a public meeting, I would like to get a legal opinion or something that could provide for that. I'm sure this isn't we're not reinventing the wheel here. It's happened somewhere, but I don't think I can recall necessarily happening here. And I'm just concerned that that could get unbound. It could be, then become, unsaleable, tax sale, vacant lot, subject to all the things it's been as a vacant lot. I like that, not reverse the clock on that. The other one also is to have in mind that the site plan agreement on that, because it's just going to be this small parcel, will it be subject to the same issues of lighting, paving, and I'm thinking more in this case of it just being a parking lot, proper fencing, like luminary. Will we drill down to make sure that that's sort of the Cadillac site plan on a vacant lot?
Through your worship, yeah, we would have to take a look at that at the site plan phase. Those are all technical aspects of those applications. So any lighting, if there's any proposed, that would have to be dealt with through site plan to make sure that there's no light trespass going on. So all the usual steps would be taken as well as you have, and as a probably necessary.
Yes, through you, Deputy Mayor. So we do have a number of studies that the site plan has already been required at. So we've fulfilled the functional servicing report, the grading plan, the site servicing plan, the stormwater management plan, erosion sediment control plan, and we have a quotation out right now for a photometric plan, which is the lighting provision. We don't have it yet because we're not at the site plan stage just yet, but we've anticipated those. The city staff have advised us what they're looking for. And further to your question about tying them together, I believe in Mr. Cowan's discussions with your economic development officer, that was one of the items that Mr. Cotton suggested, like we need to keep these tied together in perpetuity. So I do believe that if AJ wants to speak to that, but in speaking with Mr. Cotton and myself, that was the concept, was that like we need to make sure that these get tied together in order that they stay together forever. Mr. Cowan, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, Adam definitely started in the right track there. It was the discussion was the entire time to keep them together. There have been some items that have already been done, but the technical aspect, I would not fully understand that, so I can't comment on that.
One last one through you two, Chris, because that's been a vacant lot, and we all know some of the upgrades we've done on servicing disconnects, so water, wastewater. A lot of that stuff has been cut or stopped at the curb stop, whereas I think our new rules are it's going to be abandoned and rebuilt. The developer has to pay to take it back to the main, because I wouldn't want to just water and wastewater laterals going to the line with being that way for the next 50 years, and all there is a shut-off valve at the curb stop. So I would like to make sure that that gets done in a proper way, as per our new regulations, that the developer has to take it right back to the main and have that on. So if that could be noted. That's all I have.
Chris, you good on that? Yeah.
Yep, we can make a note of that and bring it forward when it comes back.
Okay, Councilor Megan?
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. A couple of questions for the owner, I guess, is how long have you owned 174 Mitchell Street building?
December 2021.
Okay. And if approved, how soon after all the approvals have been met will you plan on doing the construction?
Our plan is to start right away.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Deputy Mayor, I do have a question. I guess it's for, I know it's under the site plan agreement or something else.
Just ask it.
I do understand off-site parking. People bring groceries from the grocery stores, doing laundry. You want to drop them off. It's a long way to carry the groceries and laundry. There are 2 parking spots in front of that building. I'm just wondering, would it come with a site plan agreement or something else to restrict maybe the 2 spots to 15-minute parking limit? I think it's a good idea because people want to drop off the groceries and then go park the car in the corner.
Through your worship, yeah, we can take a look into that with our bylaw department because they have some restrictions on street parking. And if it's something that they are open to, then we can discuss that with them.
Okay, I'm good, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Any further questions from council? Mr. Holland?
To the applicant. I'm glad to see something's going on with this building because it's an eyesore in the area and it hasn't been developed. It's sat there. It's been a part of many council, city issues in the past. I'm just confirming that you're saying that that garage, or if you want to call it a barn, in the back will be removed, and that's where you put your parking and your bicycles, bike racks, should say.
Yes, through you, Deputy Mayor, that is the intention. That building in the back is, I'm not a professional building code person, but I would suggest that it does need to come down, and a slight wind might knock it down. But I think that as soon as all of this starts getting going, we need that area for the parking. So if we don't remove that building, we will be deficient in parking. So to be in compliance with the zoning regulations, we have to remove it.
The other question I have is on one side, I believe there's fencing.
Yes.
The other side, that's half falling down all the time, so that all that will be redone once you start working with that. Obviously with the neighbor, you'll have to talk to
Yes, through you, Deputy Mayor, and speaking with AJ, AJ's not going to take the plywood off the windows and just say, move in. He's going to put a concerted effort into making this a lovely home for some folks, and I believe that it would fall in line with the site plan that they could probably put it into the site plan and fix the fence. That's at the discretion of city staff, but I'm not even sure whose side of the property line that fence is on, but those are conversations to be had with your staff, I suppose.
What I like right now is that it's more affordable housing than we previously seen. Anything that's coming into us so far, so I thank you guys on that.
Thank you, Council.
Councilman, Council Beauregard?
Through Mr. Deputy Mayor, like my co-councilor, just that I actually like to see these type of units being implemented in our inner cities. Most definitely, and this particular building can be utilized for residential purposes. I do have a question regarding pretty well the streetscape. So there's 0% landscape currently, and
That's
there's 0 meter setback. And I understand that's the existing condition of this building. What is being proposed that can maybe enhance the streetscape from what it currently is, if anything?
Well, I mean, through you, Deputy Mayor, from the streetscape perspective, there's not much we can do because there is no setback from the municipal sidewalk to the building. It abuts it. We'd be open to any discussions on that if you have any available. The parking side, there might be some opportunity there. But other than that, I mean, there's really not a whole lot of opportunity to put any foliage or any kind of beautification on that property, unfortunately.
Chris. Yeah, I understand this is more of a site plan sort of situation. I was wondering if there's anything that we could be doing to kind of beautify the area or provide something other than asphalt and concrete.
For you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Yes, it typically will be addressed in the site plan phase, but we can sort of cross-reference it with our urban design guidelines of the official plan to make sure that it's meeting those requirements.
Anything further? Can I just ask Chris, on the lighting, also, but under site plan, will that take care of headlights coming in when people come in the park? Will there be some kind of fence there? The public wouldn't want to do that, so that they don't go someplace they shouldn't?
Yes, to you, Your Worship. So photometric plans, they won't acknowledge traffic headlights from my understanding. However, we can do other urban design techniques to mitigate that, such as fencing, vegetation. There's a whole bunch of other things that we can use. So it's something that we can explore.
Nothing further, Council? Chris?
Before opening the meeting to the public, I would like to read the following. If a person or public body does not make all submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the City of Colborne
For a decision on the proposed official plan and zoning bylaw amendments are passed by council, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of the City of Colborne and council to the Ontario Land Tribunal. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the City of Colborne before a decision on the proposed official plan and zoning bylaw amendments are passed by council, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal unless, in the opinion of the tribunal, there is a reasonable ground to do so. To any interested members of the public, if you would like to receive future notices regarding this application, please feel free to contact me by email at chris.root@colborne.ca or by phone at 905-835-2900-6205 or the city clerk at signup.tufail@colborne.ca, and we'll get our contact information on the screen there for you in a second. To any members of the public in attendance in the council chambers, there is also a signage sheet at the back where you can sign your name to receive future notices regarding the application. At this time, Your Worship, I'd like to invite any members of the public in attendance or registered online who wish to speak with the applicant. Please so.
Okay, is there anyone who would like to speak? Yes, sir. If you come up to the podium, there's a little red button there, push that. Please state your name and address, and then you could be on. You got 10 minutes.
Thank you. Through you, Deputy. My name is John McNall, and my wife and I own the property directly south of this particular proposal. We have 170 Mitchell. I have a few questions. There was a fence. We were talking about fencing on the south side of the property. There was a fence that adjoined my property, and vandals over the years have destroyed. I've been trying to keep it up and keep it a privacy fence, and vandals have been running through, breaking the boards down, knocking it down, and now it's completely knocked down on the south side of the property. It actually sits, which concerns me with the building, it actually sits on what appears to be an underground building where you're planning on putting the parking spaces. There is a 4-foot foundation, thereabouts 4-foot foundation on the south side of the property at the back, which would be the west side of the building, which has window frames that are boarded up. And then the ground, the pavement is over top of that. So I don't know what's underneath there, but that would probably be something that should be looked at. That's where the fence was attached to that foundation wall. And that goes pretty much right to the west side of the property line of this building. Second thing that concerns me is the facade, the brick facade of the building. My driveway sits directly on the south side of the building. It was seen in the picture. There was a truck in my driveway, but the brick facing on the south side comes off in full-size bricks constantly. So the bricks are deteriorating to a point that they're causing damage on my side, and they're probably causing quite a bit of damage to the existing building that would have to be looked at as well. The other issue that I overheard you talking about parking, and if you were to put timed parking or period parking directly in front of the building, you probably only have one parking spot between my driveway and the driveway on the north side of the building. I don't think it would be fair to the neighborhood if you put timed parking, because you probably would end up having to time the whole west side of the street, which would interfere with everybody, tenants and other people living in the area. There's issues with that building where in the past people have taken a hose and put water, or running water into the basement. So I'm sure that the new owner will have that looked at after for being a health issue, because a complete building was flooded at one time. And that is pretty much my presentation. I would just like the fencing, that brick foundation wall, what's happening there, and will it even hold cars on top of whatever is on the level, and the brick facing. Thank you.
Just before you leave, council, any questions to the presenters? No, thank you for the information. This has got that all covered.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Anybody online? Nobody online?
Microphone.
Okay. Nobody else? We're all good? Okay, Chris, back to you.
Thank you. If you wish to be notified of the approval of the official plan and zoning bylaw amendment, you must enter a written request to the clerk. Only those persons and public bodies that give the clerk a written request for the notice of the adoption and passing of an official plan and zoning bylaw amendment will be given notice. The proposed official plan and zoning bylaw amendment and recommendation report will return to council at a future meeting. This concludes my portion of the public meeting. I will now turn it back to the acting mayor to close the meeting and receive the report.
Thank you, Chris. We've got Planning Division Report 2024-40 be received for information. All those in favor? Opposed? It's carried. And there are no procedural motions or information items this evening, so we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.